Good morning to 2025. Let's go. I can't believe it's 2025 already. It is the 4th of January, and I thought I'd give a little update. Also because I'm super tired and I have to find the motivation to edit my December vlog. But right now, I thought I'd do like a little what's going on. If you've been following on Instagram, you know that I'm doing daily Veganuary posts again. So last year I did TikToks and Reels, just cataloging everything I eat in a day. I think Veganuary is super helpful. I wrote about it in my newsletter, my Substack newsletter for December. And I think it's a really interesting idea. It's not how I ended up going vegan. Actually, Veganuary came out in 2014 and I started going vegan every year in 2012. So it wasn't even a thing when I started doing Vegan January myself. But I think I like to see how people are sort of interested in trying it out, seeing if it works for them, just asking questions. It's like a really great open time. And one of the things I notice is the amazing work being done by a ton of creators out there. Daily full blog posts and recipes with full photo shoots and everything developed. And they got to be prepping this months in advance, and I am not that organized. But also, I kind of wanted to use my platform to show what it's really like being a vegan. Not to say that people don't make those recipes every day. I'm sure there's somebody who does, but also life comes at you. Maybe like me, you have a chronic illness like long COVID and you don't always have the energy. Maybe you're eating leftovers. Maybe you're the type of person that eats peanut butter toast, every single morning for breakfast. And that's realistic. You're not always having the fancy Belgian waffles for breakfast. It's kind of why I do big Sunday brunch as well, just to show sort of like bigger meals, because the rest of the week sometimes it's like breakfast burrito, another breakfast burrito, another breakfast burrito, or you're getting through all the avocados or just like days on end of tofu. I guess you can switch it up, but basically I just wanted to show that what I eat in a day, to show people like, okay, this is about as much as I need to get by. I'm not struggling for protein. I'm not having to eat, like 50 cans of beans a day or something. It's just normal. It's pretty easy to work into your life. If you're thinking about continuing this long term, it is, it can be something for a lot of people that works out. And this is how I do it. So it's that kind of perspective. Something else we're doing for January. It's not a resolution. It's just something that my family decided to do. I'm an only child, so it's just me and my parents. We've decided to tackle Swedish death cleaning the family home. If you have not seen the show, The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning on Amazon Prime, I highly recommend you watch it. Amy Poehler produced it, and it's really sweet and a little funny and also like sad, as you can imagine. The concept is based on the book that I didn't read, but I did watch the show, so I know I get the concept. But basically, it's sort of like when people are in their last quarter of life, they start taking stock of everything that they've sort of taken along with them on their journey. You collect stuff over the years. And you start to think, do I really need this? It's not like a Marie Kondo give away everything, live minimalist. It's just more like, maybe I should pass this down to someone that they can enjoy. Or, what do I want to see for myself for the next 30 years? Do I want to be dragging all of this around with me? Or could I free this up, sell some of the stuff, or pass it on so that I can catalog what's already happened with my life and move into the next stage? And also, it's just a good way to sort of, I don't know, clear out a little bit. I know for me, so we're doing that a little bit on my parents' end and the house end, but also for me personally, there's a lot of stuff that I have just shoved into boxes over years and not really dealt with. So I am going through a lot of that. I will say we're exhausted. We have decided to do 2 hours every day. It's now Saturday, and we've decided we're just going to do 2 hours Monday to Friday because we were finding that it's not like heavy duty, intense, moving things kind of cleaning, but the decision making, the like, should I toss this? Would somebody else need it? Also just like opening a box and there's like old photos of family stuff that can be kind of emotional for me personally. I went through all of my clothes. I'd been keeping I have a really small closet, so I rotate out my winter and summer clothes, but there was a time in my life when I was the sickest I've ever been, when I was about a size 10. And I have not been that size since I was the sickest I've ever been in my life. And I had kept things thinking that one day I would be thin again. And I coming to terms with and letting go of who that person was shockingly emotional. I think also remembering how sick I was, remembering how like dialed into diet culture I was a little hard because I have PCOS, my weight does fluctuate. So I kept a lot of stuff that's like one size down from where I am now. That's realistic. I do kind of go up and down. That's totally fine. But I'm in no way I really don't think I'm going to be a size 10 again. I mean, maybe one day, but if that ever happens for some reason, that's future me's problem. But for right now, I have really gorgeous, expensive clothes that I can donate and somebody else can enjoy. I'm really trying to take this a little bit more seriously. I've worked in creative industries and media and communications for 25 years now in one way or another. And I lost my job unexpectedly in October. I'm sure you've heard me talk about that a million times now. And during this time of looking and not really finding things, I'm also kind of thinking about maybe it's time to turn some of those skills and use them for myself. So I'm trying to build this up and explore a little bit more of what this could be. So thank you to those who are along for the ride. And right now I'm just going to have a big glass of water, settle into my desk, and try to get some editing done. And yes, I know my Christmas tree is up still and it doesn't have any decorations on it. December was hard. We're going to do better next Christmas. Don't judge. I know I talk about long COVID a lot, but I think it can be really hard for people to understand how it like feels and manifests. So it's 5 o'clock and I have been trying to get my life in gear all day. I made super easy food today, but I needed to do a lot of editing and that just was not happening. I mean, I exported my video clips and then just laid on my office floor. Because sometimes it just feels like you're in quicksand. Like I've had my B vitamins, I've had everything else, but I overdid it this week and I'm paying for it today and I'm hoping I won't be paying for it tomorrow, but it's just the reality of life. I mean, deciding to just do 10 minutes of yoga and basically sitting and doing gentle stretch, like not even flow, like very slow. And because I have a back injury, so I need to do it because my back is in crazy pain. And 2 hours a day of like going through a box apparently is too much for my body. So I'm really glad we're doing the weekends off, but this is the reality of long COVID. You never know which day it's going to hit. You never know what day you're going to wake up and just be toast. And I've been trying to wake up for like 6 hours. Swedish Death Cleaning is continuing. It's more emotional than we planned, but also I've run out of things to store stuff in. So I'm headed to Canadian Tire. It is the 15th of the month, and I think this maybe is only the first time I've been out this month, so time to get out of the house. So I was just in at Cobb's. We have these great little coupon books that we get every year, and in there you get, if you buy a loaf, you get a loaf free. So I always make sure to go in once a month. They also have a Great selection of vegan stuff. We have vegan pizza bases, vegan bagels. I really love them. So if you have a Cobb's Bakery in your neighborhood, check them out. Also, they do a really good thing that at the end of the day, all the food gets donated to people who need food, so it never goes to waste. I really like it that way. So I'm at Canadian Tire and it was totally dead. And if you're a Canadian, you've been to Canadian Tire, you know that's pretty rare. Especially the one in my town. I usually avoid this one specifically unless I have to recycle my Nespresso pods, because they are notoriously always busy and the parking is not great. But I just went in there and the cashier was like, yeah, you know, there's only 2 of us working today. There's nobody ever in the store anymore. I can only get 20 hours a week at this job. And as someone who's worked retail in the past and lived on those like part-time jobs that they expect you to act like a full-time employee, that sucks, man. So many people out here are hurting. It's really hard. It's I feel for them. Also, to this morning, I found out that CBC, in like a totally different turn, CBC is expanding. They're going to have a bureau out here in Abbotsford. It's going to cover Abbotsford, Chilliwack, and Mission. But there's 300,000 people who live here, and they've never had a bureau here before. And they have a bunch of money to spend because Google is now paying them, actually paying News in Canada for being on Google. So that means we get funding. And they're hiring reporters. So maybe I'll apply. It's been a really hard job market. I just got a rejection from a job I applied to in August. When I still had a job, I applied to be an editor-in-chief at Yahoo News Canada, and I didn't get it, but I only got rejected today, and it was the first that I had actually heard from them this entire time. So I don't know, but I think I'm going to apply to CBC. Maybe 30 years of living in the valley will finally pay off. We'll see.
It will become harmonious. All of the sweetness will kind of flow down. All of the spice will start to balance out, and it will be amazing. Trust.
So I'm taking a break from the Swedish Death Cleaning and going out. I have to get bread, so I'm going back to Cobb's. And I have to go to Save On. I've been getting these Odd Bunch subscriptions, which I love. But I always feel like, oh, there's so much food in the fridge, and I forget, like, I need tofu. I'm doing really well though, and for February I'm starting a pantry challenge, so that for the whole month of February, other than my Odd Bunch, I'm just going to make sure that I'm only eating stuff out of my freezer and pantry and just like use up everything that I have. So there'll be more about that. But yeah, my face is like, we're finally hitting winter in Canada, so it's so pink and so dry. I've just been slathering it with moisturizer trying to fix the dryness, but we're finally hitting, except I totally forgot I haven't planted my tulip bulbs yet. It's not that I forgot, it was that it was super warm and you needed to be a certain coldness. And then all of a sudden it got really cold and there wasn't any sort of space in between there. So I'm going to have to try to find time this weekend to plant my tulips and my daffodils, or else they are not going to come out. But yeah, that's what's on the menu today. So that trip to Save On was $94.77. I actually saved $21.17. So I saved 21 bucks and it was still $94. And I didn't get that much. I got snacks for my snackle boxes that I make. I got some tofu. I got 1 carton of Just Eggs, 2 cheeses, and literally every single item on the whole list was on sale. Like my whole receipt list is just stuff that was on sale. Things are crazy now. I have been so bad about vlogging this month. I think partially because I'm doing Veganuary, these what I eat in a day, everyday videos, and that takes up a lot of time. Filming and editing every single thing that you put in your mouth every day is a lot. But now we're moving into, I just finished filming the video for my pantry challenge that I'm doing for the month of February. So that's good. I am like super pink. If I know in the gardening video, I talked about the fact that I just stripped my skin so badly, but it feels good. So don't be worried if you see that I'm super pink. Nothing's wrong. My skin is healing. January was an interesting month. There's also a lot of other stuff going on with me outside of food content. I got a scholarship to attend a writer's workshop that ran last Saturday, and then February 1st and 2nd all day long. And then a week after that, we have another session. And it's so amazing. It's by, there's a podcast called The Shit No One Tells You About Writing. And they run this thing called the Deep Dive series. And this is the Deep Dive 2025. I did it last year. It was a 10-week course last year. This week, it's just like an intensive 2-day process. And I love them so much. You get to meet so many other writers and hear their stories and what they're doing. And also, I don't know that I've mentioned on this channel that I am a writer outside of all the food writing and stuff that I do. I have written a novel. It hasn't been published yet. I am trying to get an agent for that. But yeah, that's kind of what I do in the rest of my life. And sometimes the rest of my life, I forget to film these vlogs. I don't know if this is like getting too into the weeds or not. If people are interested about what it's like when you're like really getting into YouTube and being a content creator, but I have seen a huge amount of growth this last month. My goal is still to get to the point where I can monetize, and I am getting closer. If you get 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours is what I need. That's my next goal. And then I can monetize. So let's all cross our fingers. Also, like and subscribe and share and tell people, please. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Can I be just like so honest though? It's really weird to ask people to like your stuff. And it's really weird to just be like, can you subscribe to my channel? It feels weird. And I know like I'm trying to get over it, and I'm trying to remember to always do that in videos, and it does work. When you ask people, it does work. But it just feels a little weird. To be perfectly honest, every time somebody subscribes, like I'll wake up and I'll see my stats that morning and I'll be like, oh my goodness, I have one more subscriber. Literally every one person means so much. That's how my January is going.